Hi, Eric at Silvercrest, and today we're harvesting Cabernet Franc and Riesling. First, we're going to talk about Cabernet Franc. So, we make two different styles of Cabernet Franc. This one that we're harvesting today is going to be a traditional dark red wine, and it's a tricky grape, Cabernet Franc. In the vineyard, you have to load the crop just right, or you get some strange flavors. So if it's too low of a crop, you'll get a very high bell pepper flavor that sometimes doesn't go all the way away when it ripens, and so you can get a Cabernet Franc with a kind of a vegetative flavor. Some people like that, but we prefer to get rid of as much of that as possible. So you have to give the vines enough to do so that that level doesn't get too high of a concentration in the grapes. Then if you overload it, then of course the grapes don't get very ripe and you have the same problems. So we try to balance it so that we get enough of that, enough fruit, so that we get the nice ripe fruit flavors that you expect without so much of that bell pepper flavor. Another style that we make is a rosé that we picked earlier, and we make our rosé a little darker than others. We let it sit on the skins for a whole day, and then we press it and make it like a white wine. But because it sits on the skins for 24 hours, usually at a minimum, then it gets a lot more color and a lot more flavor from the skins. Lighter style rosés are a little more popular now, or stylish, shall we say. But there was a time when a lot of rosés were pretty dark. In Bordeaux, in France, there's a style of rosé called a Clairet. It's very dark, and it can be quite dark. And ours is pretty dark. This next one that's coming out before Thanksgiving, I think. And it's just a different style. So it's got a lot more flavor from the skins, a lot richer flavor, kind of a savoriness. So it goes very well with a lot of the meals around the holidays. So anyway, that's what we're picking in one block today, is our Cabernet Franc for the traditional red wine. And we're harvesting Riesling that is located conveniently right next to the Cabernet Franc block that we are harvesting today. That's just the way it worked out this year. Now Riesling is an interesting grape. It's actually quite a late ripening grape, and people think of it, well, it grows in Germany, it's a cool climate, so it's a cool climate grape. It is, but it really holds on to its acid for a long time, and so that's why you have so many different styles of Riesling. So you have choices with Riesling. You can pick it earlier for a higher sugar, lower alcohol Mosel style Riesling. You can let it ripen up a bit, and you can get a little less sweet, maybe higher alcohol, later harvest Riesling. And so you have all these different styles. So we pick our Riesling blocks at different times so we can get these different styles. So we can have a sweeter Riesling, we can have a nice dry Riesling, that has a lot less acid in it, a little riper flavors. And so this is probably what's going to happen here. Again, we don't know exactly what kind of style it's going to be until we get it into the winery and see exactly how much acid is left. But I think it's going to be okay. We had a nice warm week, and I think these ripened up very well, and I think the acids dropped off quite nicely. So we probably have a nice drier style Riesling here. And people think, well, Riesling makes a sweet wine. It's a sweet grape. Well, all grapes are sweet. So whether it's a sweet wine or a dry wine, that's really up to the winemaker. So that's a decision that gets made in the winery, not so much in the vineyard. So you don't necessarily get a sweet wine from Riesling. There are plenty of dry Rieslings out there, but it's really a good grape to make a sweet wine out of, because it usually does have that nice acid backbone that you can balance the sweetness and the acidity with. So anyway, we have a busy day today. We have a lot of grapes to pick, so we have to get going. So see you later.